Hello, lambs. Welcome to She's Worthy Ministries. Today we continue with Exodus chapter 17. So the people set out from the desert of Sin, traveling place to place as the Lord had commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water there. So the people quarreled with Moses to give them water to drink. Moses wanted to know why they were quarreling with him and putting the Lord to the test. They continued to complain about them, their children, and the livestock dying of thirst, even though this is the same people that just got water before from God, right? Look how quickly they've forgotten. So Moses cried to the Lord that the people wanted to stone him. The Lord told Moses to go in front of the people with the elders of Israel to take the staff to strike the rock at Horeb, that the Lord would be before the rock, and once Moses strikes it, water will come out for them to drink. So Moses did this and called the place Massah, which means testing, and Meribah, which means quarreling, because they quarreled and tested the Lord, saying, "Is he among us or not?" The Amalekites attacked the Israelites, so Moses told Joshua to choose some men to fight them. Moses would stand on top of a hill with God's staff in his hands. When Moses and the men went to fight the Amalekites, Moses, Aaron, and Hur, who is Moses' companion from the tribe of Judah, went to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held his hands up, the Israelites were winning. But when he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. When Moses' hands grew tired, they gave him a stone to sit on. And Aaron and Hur held his hands up on each side until sunset. So that is how Joshua was able to overcome the Amalekite army. The Lord told Moses to write all of this on a scroll to be remembered. So Joshua hears it because the Lord would blot out the name of Amalek. Moses built an altar and called it, "The Lord is my banner," because his hands were lifted up against the throne of God. The Lord would be at war with the Amalekites from generation to generation. Okay, so that's 17. So a couple of things. Instead of grumbling and complaining, the Israelites should have been praying and asking the Lord for water, because he would have answered. And you see about what I say to you about the Lord with his mercy and his grace, because even though they complained, he still gave them water. But when you're going through tough situations in life and things that you don't know about, you need to pray and proclaim what it is you want the Lord to do with thankfulness. It was miracle after miracle, or it had been miracle after miracle since they left Egypt. Now Lord was striking the rock and water came out of the rock. But all they ever chose to focus on was what they didn't have, not 1 ounce of gratitude. One of the things that I think is so important to do when you're going through tough situations is to remember what God did for you in the last tough situation you experienced. To realize that he delivered you. And so if he delivered you then, he will deliver you again. God is not just a transactional God. That's how they treated him, though. And that's how a lot of people treat God. Like, he's transactional. Let me pray. Let me pay attention to him because I want something right now. But then when I get what I want or until I need something else, I'm going to ignore him. We have to worship and glorify the Lord, even in bad times. Why did Moses have to keep his hands up to win? Because in order for God to bless us or make us victorious, we have to worship him and praise him. Praise goes up, blessings come down. No matter what our external circumstances may look like, we must give thanks and praise, because the minute we stop praising and worshiping, the enemy will prevail and derail us from the path that God has put us on. So try to take a little chunk out of each day to sit in stillness before God and or worship him and praise him, because we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And when we honor him, he honors us. And remember, God calls you worthy.